UFC 320 is in the books, and this card was just spectacular from the start of the main card to the end of the main event. All 5 fights delivered. We had 4 finishes on the main card. The only fight that wasn't a finish was in the co-main event, and we'll start off from what we last saw, which was Alex Pereira regaining the championship of the world by finishing Magomed Ankalaev in the first round, and by doing so, he becomes the 5th three-time UFC champion. Now is a 2-time light heavyweight champion. He's 6-2 in UFC title fights with 6 knockouts. This guy is just something that we haven't seen before. It's that simple. He's the first fighter to beat Magomed Ankalaev since 2018, ending his 14-fight unbeaten streak. And Alex Pereira is just relentless and is just a fighter that is just different from somebody that I've seen in the past. And from the second this fight started, we saw a different version. We didn't see the version of Alex Pereira we saw in the first fight with Magomed Ankalaev. We saw the traditional dominant Alex Pereira, the one and the version that presses forward and pressures his opponent with just and unloading tons of strikes. That's what he did against Magomed Ankalaev, and he got him to the ground, finished him with ground and pound, and it was all over from there. And Pereira, before this fight, was over a plus 200 to beat Magomed Ankalaev because he lost the first fight back in March. But he proves that although he's 38 years old, although he was coming off a loss, none of that mattered. Alex Pereira has the heart of a champion, and when he is at his best, like I said all week, like I wrote, he is just untouchable and unbeatable. It's that simple. Yeah, it is just something that we just haven't seen before. It's almost hard to put the words together because of how great of a performance it was for Pereira. He has 2 great contenders still at light heavyweight. Yuri Prohashka finished Khalil Roundtree in the 3rd and final round with a brutal punch. Just unbelievable scenes in that one. And also Carlos Ulberg is coming off of a knockout last week. So both of those are great contenders for Alex Pereira. Comment below who you think he will face next. I think it should be Yuri because of his win tonight, even though he lost to him twice in the past. The co-main event, Merab Dvalishvili won his 4th title fight, 3rd title defense, 4th title win, which ties Dominic Cruz for the 2nd most in bantamweight history. Merab Dvalishvili also made history, and he became the first fighter to record 100 takedowns in a UFC fight, and he recorded 20 takedowns in this fight, 20 of 37 takedown attempts in this contest against Corey Sandhagen, which is the most takedowns landed in a 5-round UFC title fight. And he rocked Corey Sandhagen in the 2nd round, got him to the ground, looked like he was going to finish him, but Corey Sandhagen still made it out of that fight. Merab now has sole possession of the 3rd longest winning streak in UFC history with 14 wins. And he's only a couple away from getting to Anderson Silva's 16-fight winning streak. And this is a guy that this year, to me, is the fighter of the year because of his consistency. 3 title defenses in a calendar year. And he is only the 8th fighter to do that, and he wants to become the first fighter to have 4 title defenses in a year if the UFC can quickly book him for the December card, which currently doesn't have a title fight attached to it. So I would love to see that, but Merab is really just starting to clear out the division. He really is just unbeatable. When he steps into the octagon with his pace and cardio and relentless takedown attacks, he is just unstoppable. We have not seen a guy that can beat him because Merab never slows down for a second and he never lets up, and that is what makes him on a different level from any other 135-pounder right now. And I don't see an end in sight for his reign. Although he is getting a little bit older in his career, I think he is just getting started because he is improving each fight and each time he's out there. So I think Merab is just here to stay, and I can't wait to see what he does next. It seems like a fight maybe against Piotr Jan, a rematch could be next. I think he would clearly beat him once again. Also on this card, we saw Youssef Zahal submit Josh Emmett in the first round, and Joe Pyfer submitted Abus Magomedov in the first round to open up the main card. Again, getting back in the finishing column for Say. And overall, like I said, this card, UFC 320, was stacked top to bottom, and it delivered to a T. Each fight did its part, and each fight was excellent. Merab Dvalishvili and still, and in the main event, and new, Poatan Alex Pereira is the new light heavyweight champion. That's all I have for you guys today. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I'm Ryan Wohl, and I'll see you next time.